Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the Global Entrepreneurship Week in Michigan. I know that you're probably somewhere around the world celebrating the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and no matter where you are, if you decide to join us today for this quick session about Kauffman FastTrac, we'd be honored to have you here with us. So with that being said, I'm going to dive right in. My name is Faris Almi. I'm the host of the program today, and I'm really honored to be with you. I run a company called International Strategic Management that's been supporting the Global Entrepreneurship Week for the last 15 years or so, and we've been lucky to have been doing this in Michigan for the last 5 or so years. And those who were able to join us earlier heard from the governor about the Entrepreneurship Week this week, and I hope that you enjoyed her message, as well as the president of Michigan Economic Development Corporation, Quinten. All right. For those who are not familiar, International Strategic Management, we do entrepreneurship and small business development. And today I'm going to focus on one of our programs that we deliver called the Kauffman Foundation FastTrac. For those who are joining, by the way, online, please feel free to put in the chat maybe just your first name and maybe like one thing that's fun, that about you, maybe something that we don't know that we wouldn't be able to tell from reading your resume. And I know many times when we do these slides, people always want to get a copy of the slides. Well, we actually have built a community for you to be part of this community. So if you could just join us in using your phone, or if you are on your phone, just join the Google Classrooms and then just join the code in the bottom right there. And you should have access to the slides as well as any of the other workshops that I'll be delivering this week throughout the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Just a quick overview about ISM, International Strategic Management. We've been around for 22 years. And I'm going to just, if you do mind moving that a little bit so I could just capture some of the slides. Yeah, a little bit the other side, the other way. Yep, there we go. So just to make sure that people are capturing some of the slides, those who are joining us through another Zoom link. You could download the report. I'm not going to read it to you. You could download the report on our website, and that's at the myisminc.com website. And we have a 20th anniversary report. Although we've been around for 22 years, this will give you a little bit of perspective of what we've done. You could, of course, read our mission and vision in the slides as well as on the website. I just want to mention that we are here to cultivate the next generations of global leaders that are culturally sensitive and aware, and making sure that they are reaching the globe. The timetable tells you nothing more than that we've been around for a while, and really the idea behind this is to say we have some Bruces as well. Our work has been contained in what I call under the economic development area, and really focus on entrepreneurship and small business development with a little bit on leadership and technology, of course, while building communities locally. Anything I'm going to say today, some of the things I might say might sound really interesting or smart or very impressive. Just know that the reason I am able to say or do these things is because of these amazing people that we've worked with globally in the local communities, making an impact and making sure that their communities are being impacted at a local level. Our reach have reached 103 countries so far, 102 maybe, somewhere in that range. And we've been fortunate to learn from so many people all around the world. It's not possible to put 22 years worth of logos on one slide, but I hope that this will give you a breath of the depth that we've been able to learn from the amazing people working globally, and then entrepreneurs and small business owners working locally with them. The way we're structured, just really quick, we have a track for the organization that supports the entrepreneurs. This is where we design and strategize on what programs to offer, what activities should be involved, funding, planning, business planning. What is it that we're going to be doing with entrepreneurs or small business owners, business-to-business matches, capacity building tours or programs, funding or finance, access to finance. And then on the other side is the actual, I call them leaders of entrepreneurs or small business owners. Now they're actually in those sessions, whether it's match, business-to-business match, or whether it's actual coaching or training or just advising, whatever capacity or consulting, then they're actually going through it themselves. This is what people usually call us for or think of us in this kind of expertise area. I'm not going to read the slides because you guys could read, I'm sure. If not, I'm sure your chat or something else like that could help you read it. And then, these are the areas where people could think of us, or when they call us, they're thinking about some of these things. So whether it's a business plan or whether it's an idea of needs assessment, these are the areas we could support. And in the programs itself, we have over 20 some programs that we have deployed, probably hundreds of programs, but 20 that seems to be repeating all the time. These are some of the names of them, whether it's the Kauffman FastTrac I'm going to talk about today, or the Resilient Entrepreneur Canvas, or the Capital Finance Readiness, or in the supporting organizations, whether we're helping them select some businesses to be matched with other businesses, or to export, or to import, or anything like that, or soft land somewhere. These are the areas that we usually work for. We do have a signature copyrighted approach to developing and delivering programs, and these are our 7 steps of how we do that. You will have a copy of it so you're able to read it on your own. And I'm going to say that we have 5 methodologies / approaches that we deliver the program in. So today, those who are joining us in person, see us in person. Those who are in Zoom are seeing us in Zoom. We can do both hybrid or in one or the other. It depends on the group. We always create an online community, which those who have access to now to the slides will have access to the community. We always have some kind of technology that we usually deploy. In today's case, we're using the Kauffman FastTrac. If they don't have their own tool that we're deploying with, we use our own called Yellow Plan, which is an AI-powered tool to help people with planning and forecasting for their financials. Then we always have some kind of syllabus or agenda. And then, of course, we have some kind of books or additional material that we recommend. I'm going to skip for you over these slides so you could read them on your own. I really want to dive right into the Kauffman FastTrac program so we could spend most of our day today, now that the 5 minutes that I budgeted for this is over, and talk about what is Kauffman FastTrac. If you're not familiar with it, it's one of probably the best programs out there for business planning, and I've been fortunate to have been an affiliate of Kauffman for a long time, almost since the inception of the foundation for the FastTrac piece of it. And what it is, it's a program that's designed to really get your hands-on involvement. You actually are writing a business plan in the duration of the program. And we have created a budgeted time for you to work on your business plan, including, of course, your financials forecast. It is total of usually somewhere between 8 to 10 weeks. We have done it in up to 17 weeks for those who want to run it in a classroom setting, like a semester long with students in the university, or if they want to run it like a semester at the university, we have done it in 17 weeks, but most of the time we run somewhere between 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the capacity of the community, as well as who's exactly going to be involved in writing those plans. We have done it both hybrid, in person, or 100% online, and we've been able to deliver that over the last, 15 or so years at least. And we generally speak, we do somewhere between 4 to 6 cohorts a year in running these kind of cohorts. The meetings are usually somewhere between 1.5 hours to 3 hours, and most of the time we meet twice a week, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on the capacity. And the desired outcome will be writing a business plan and flushing your idea with a plan that really could be used to be implemented. It's a lot, okay? This is what I usually tell people. Our Kauffman FastTrac training program is probably the most comprehensive approach to any business plan. Just by looking at this is actually the actual modules and the actual sections that you'll go through working with us, as well as the access to the technology behind it to have access to some of the videos and some of the explanations for each one of the topics. It's usually run the way we're structured, with 2 ISM facilitators that are certified to deliver the program. These are people who usually are experienced in business planning as well as in business. And we handpick them to deliver this program. There are 5 modules, 23 lessons, 123 topics, and this is just a sample of what you will go through. I put that screenshot here for you just to say it's a lot and it's comprehensive. We, of course, have other programs like Exploring Entrepreneurship that are a little bit lighter, but this is, our, I call it the Cadillac or the Rolls Royce of business plans. In here, you'll see this is how we usually break the sessions. So usually we have 10 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks. We can go up to 20 weeks, by the way. If you put each session in a week, that's 20 weeks total. But this gives you an idea of our kind of like the inside under the hood of how we usually run it. excuse me, they're always like a one session that's usually a topic. And then we usually run another session that's just hands-on, 100% facilitated discussion on the actual plan. Now, all of our programs have guest speakers, people from the community that come talk about the different topics. Usually bring 3 to 5 different guest speakers during the durations of the 8 to 12 weeks that we are running it in. And of course, there's a big showcase on the last day. And sometimes, depending on the budget, we are able to award some people with additional funding or additional technical assistance support. The Kauffman FastTrac material is very comprehensive. Once you're in the program, you will be part of our community, and basically we'll give you access to the portal. And the portal is very powerful to help you think through the business plan. We also give you access to our online community to have I call it practice, and to have also a draft of your plan, because once you're done with here, you can actually download it as a PDF and use it as your plan. There will be some short videos throughout the process that you could watch, and you could rewatch if you choose to. And then, of course, there are all kinds of activities, as you can see here, throughout that portal that allows you to engage in different ways with your plan. And yes, I also people, you can't have a business plan without financials. Otherwise, I like to call it a research paper. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not a business plan. Research paper, the business plan will include your financial forecast, and generally speaking, from break-even point analysis to 3 to 5 years financial forecasting, including usually the first 1 year in month-to-month basis of those projections. And you will have access to that as well throughout the program. In addition, like I was saying, you'll have access to our ISM material that we have used over the years to enhance, especially in the underserved, underrepresented, or I call them sometimes remote areas. If you're in a place where maybe you want to practice a little bit, or you've never really had a formal business planning teaching, or you've never really had a business etiquettes, this is where we have built our own tools to help you supplement what Kauffman has done to make sure that you're really getting the maximum of it. So we will include it in our online portal, where you have actually some of the sample questions. So you could learn how to answer them using AI as well for help, for those who need help. And then, of course, we have a whole another tool called Yellow Plan that basically allows you to do financial forecasts and get additional industry data that's up to date. Usually it's no more than 30 days or less that has been updated. So therefore, you're getting first hands of what's happening in the experience from a market research perspective. We couldn't run a program without having expectations. By the way, for those who are joining us, please feel free at any time to put your questions in the chat or ask us in the Q&A section, as well as if you're interested, you can just shoot us an email or go to our website and ask your questions in in the Contact Us page. And we have been lucky to have partnered with so many organizations globally to deploy this program, from Detroit to West Michigan to Upper Michigan to Ohio to Washington, D.C., to Boston area and Jordan and many other countries, actually also Eastern European countries and Spain. So we've been lucky to deploy this program all over, and with the support of so many local organizations that have been able to allow us to provide scholarships to the entrepreneurs to go through it. Occasionally we get entrepreneurs who say, I have my money, we're happy to pay you. And of course, we're happy to talk to you as well. There are some expectations that when we are working with you that you should expect from going through the program. Of course, I'm not going to read them because you could read them. But of course, there are also expectations from you participating. If you're looking just to come and hang out, I also say, well, this is not the place. If you just want to watch a YouTuber, there are lots of wonderful YouTube's videos about business plans. There are also lots of wonderful colleges that offer business plans. This is where hands-on. You got to show up, you got to be ready, you got to be interactive, and you got to be able to share just as much as you're taking information. We expect you to engage your community in sharing some of the information. Actually, this is an outdated slide, but that's okay. This is a sample of our ISM team that behind the scene making this happen. And this is a sample of some of the organizations that we've worked with or partnered with to deliver some of our programs, whether it's this one or others. Here's a quick sample of them. As a matter of fact, we just finished a program with Oakland Thrive in our county that allowed people to go through the 8 weeks of business planning, and many others here. I could go on for hours about each one of them or what we've done with each one of them. I'm going to stop to give you a little bit of time to ask questions, comments, or thoughts. And I hope that this session gives you insights about how this program works and the different sessions that we're going to go through. I see some of the comments, so I'm going to go back and talk about a little bit about the sessions. So therefore, I can highlight some of those sessions and how they work, so you can understand the process of business planning. So we first start with the ideate, and this is where we talk about, entrepreneurship mindset. What's the problem that you're solving? What's the opportunity that you're creating? We really help you flush that idea really clear. So therefore, it's clear, crystal clear about what the business that you're going to go in. Then we move into your position. Where are you going to be? What position you're going to have within the marketplace? And that's a fully loaded, information. But basically, we're talking about, who's the ideal customer, pricing strategy, how do you make money, what are the different ways you make money, legal structure, do you plan to exit, do you plan to keep going? All those kinds of ideas or concepts will be covered in those sessions. Then we move to the third module, which is commitment. Now that you know that, all right, I understand what I'm going to do, I understand how I'm going to do this. Now let's refine the market distribution. Where do I start? Which market entry do I enter? How do I move to the next level? What are the sales channels I'm going to get? Am I going to hire people? Am I going to do a distribution? Am I going to wholesale? Am I going to retail? Am I going to do business to business? Am I going to do business to government? All those kinds of concepts under commitment. And then, of course, understanding the financial forecasting and the sales projections and how long does it take for you to get the money in the bank versus from the time you sell it. That kind of idea and that kind of concept is where we jump in. And then once we're done with that modules, now we move to fourth one, and this is where we're refining. We might fine tune it. I need new staff based on my cash flow projections. I'm going to need a loan or things of that nature. Or I might need to start now so I can get paid before I open, or maybe I could find some pilot customers. You're really refining all of the things that you assumed initially. And then, of course, last would be a launch. And this is where you're really talking about how do you get this organization going? Where do you register? And then, of course, on the last day, you do a final presentation with usually you invite some funders and community supporters to make sure that you're being supported beyond the program. That's pretty much it. And you could imagine that we could stretch this into 17 weeks, depending on how fast you want to go through it, or we could crunch it. I think the minimum we've ever done it in usually is like a whole week of almost 40 hours, 8 to 5 every day for 5 days. I usually don't recommend that because it's a lot. We do have another program that is similar called Exploring Entrepreneurship. That is, I'm going to call it like the executive summary or the executive approach for this. And sometimes we actually use it to prep you to go through this program. Or once you're done with this program, we move you to that program to help you summarize what you've learned. Because this is really, I call it like a mini MBA in your actual business, because it was developed by people who are in business and happen to be with an heavy education background. So therefore, wonderful information, great resources, and sometimes could be overwhelming, but that the idea is that you'll learn as much as you can about your business before you launch it. Then once you launch it, hopefully you continue to modify this plan. All right. I want to say thank you so much. Those who are still with us, please feel free to give us one word about today's discussion. And I look forward to staying in touch. Those who want to stay in touch or want to keep going, to reach out to us with this QR code. You could leave a message. Or, of course, now that you're in the classroom, you're welcome to comment anywhere, and then the team will follow up with you. Till next time, I'm wishing you the great sessions for the rest of the week. Today is our entrepreneurship week. So please keep, can you guys open the door? Yeah. So please stay in touch. And then till next time, we'll talk. I'm recording. Yes. So till next time, we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being here.